Imagine standing on the edge of everything you've ever believed about investing, watching the ground crumble beneath the usual rules and old metrics. Because what feels like the solid bedrock, traction, numbers, charts, can suddenly dissolve into dust while the real game, the hidden game, rages beneath. It's brutal, it's raw, and it's unstoppable. You've been taught to chase traction, to hunt for proof in progress, in user numbers, in growth percentages. You've been told that the safest bet sits firmly on charts that climb, on the momentum that pushes startups into the next funding round. But here's the burning, undeniable truth that most never dare say out loud. Traction is often just smoke. Illusion crafted by the system to lull you into comfort, to make you play a game rigged to the center's advantage. Because traction can be bought, manipulated, faked, but talent? Talent is fire. Talent is unpredictable. Talent is the rare force that shatters every expectation, rewrites the rules, and breaks through ceilings no amount of traction can pierce. You've felt it, haven't you? That gnawing doubt when a promising company with insane traction starts to wobble, when the glow of numbers fades, and what's left is hollow. That sinking feeling when you realize you might be chasing shadows while the real potential slips away, unnoticed, uninvested. Because traction is immediate, visible, loud, and influential to the system. Talent is quiet. Talent demands faith, a kind of brutal conviction that goes against the grain. It's risky. It's lonely. It's the kind of bet that makes people question your sanity. But here's what separates the great investors, the true visionaries, from the crowd. The willingness to see through the noise, to look past the polished facades of traction and place your stake where others won't. On talent. Talent isn't a number. It's a force of nature. It's the relentless hunger to redefine everything, refusal to settle, the mind that dances with chaos and still crafts something extraordinary. Talent is the individual who burns so fiercely that they melt the boundaries others erected long ago. The talented founder or team is not playing by the same tired rules. They're rewriting the playbook from scratch, unlearning what everyone else believes. And here's what most miss. This kind of talent never races for traction first. They obsess over mastery, over building something real and disruptive. Traction comes later, often as a byproduct, sometimes as a surprise. But the system, the outside world, rewards traction because it's easy to measure, easy to sell, easy to believe. Talent forces discomfort because it's unpredictable, untamed, and unapologetically different. For years, the safe bet was to pour your money where the momentum is, to look for the quick wins, the metrics that show the business works. But that model is broken, and you probably know it deep down. Because chasing traction over talent leaves you stuck in an endless cycle of mediocrity masquerading as promise. You've all seen it. Startups with fat user bases that crack under pressure, teams that implode, ideas that flatten as soon as the market hiccups. The system rewards the herd, not the wolf pack. It encourages comfort, conformity, and consensus. But true progress? It's a rebel act. It's a refusal to settle for incrementality when exponential is the only option. It thrives on the tensions you feel, the impatience, the unrest, that quiet voice telling you, there is more, way more. So how do you bet on talent without losing your shirt? Because talent alone isn't a magic wand unless you know what to look for, how to nurture it, and, most importantly, how to connect it. Talent isolated is just potential wasted. What transforms it into unstoppable force is the rare alignment, the fierce complementarity you create when you bring the right minds together. This isn't about crowds or communities. Those just add noise. It's about crafting an autonomous network of individuals who burn with the same fire, who see the same invisible future, and who are ruthless enough to pursue it regardless of rules. Talent that's left to swim in a sea of conformity drowns. Talent needs a world where difference is celebrated, where contrast fuels strength, and where the few who burn brighter find each other and amplify their power. Imagine for a second that what you've been conditioned to worship, the shiny traction metrics, the immediate wins, is just a system's distraction, a promise of safety that keeps you locked inside a mediocre loop. Now envision a different path, placing your bets where no one else dares. Scouting not just for the flashy user numbers, but for hunger, resilience, vision, and the raw, combustible fire that won't stop until it breaks through every wall. That's where true investing mastery lies. It's brutal, it's lonely, it's exhilarating, and it demands one thing above all else: courage to see the invisible, to reject the comfort of the herd, and to align deeply with the rare few who are done waiting for the world to hand them permission. These talents don't wait for traction to prove themselves. They create traction on their own terms, whether the system recognizes it or not. They are misaligned, misunderstood, often isolated because the world has no proper structure for the exceptional. But that's where the power lies, in finding those hidden or miscast talents, nurturing them, and building a network so fierce that it becomes unstoppable. It's not about scaling noise or numbers. It's about amplifying essence. Every investment in talent is a rebellion against the status quo, against the mediocre consensus, against the easy, quiet death of normalcy. If the system comforts and convinces you that traction is your North Star, it's also quietly putting your fire out. Because the real fire never burns safely. It burns wild, unpredictable, revolutionary. It's the kind of fire that destroys old realities and lights up new ones. Betting on talent means betting on that wildfire. The raw creators, the ones who will never settle, who will relentlessly dismantle every rule until their vision stands tall, undeniable. This is the play for those who refuse a borrowed life, those who are done waiting, done bending, done living beneath an illusion of progress. So here's the brutal, unfiltered truth. If you keep betting on traction alone, you'll keep playing the same game, losing the long war and getting lost in the noise. If you dare to bet on talent, to look beneath the surface, to trust the fire inside those few rare individuals, you're choosing a path few have the guts to take. But it's the only path that leads beyond the mediocre center, beyond the system's comforting illusions, into the wild frontier of true transformation. This is not an easy road. It demands patience, relentless conviction, and a brutal honesty with yourself and the market. It demands you question everything, abandon old maps, and learn to see with different eyes. But it also places incredible power in your hands. The power to unlock the unimaginable, to connect the rare with the rare, and to be part of the network that forges what comes next. A network where talent is honored, where difference is strength, where the few who dare to become more come together and ignite a revolution in investing. This game isn't about quick wins or shallow victories. It's about transformation, about freedom from the tired illusions that have kept so many trapped in cycles of false progress. The power rests with the liberated individual, the investor who sees the unrealized genius behind the curtain, who stitches together brilliance into unstoppable force. Talent is fire, traction is smoke. The wise put out the smoke and fan the fire, because that's how legends are made. That's how futures are forged. That's how the few become the many, and the exceptional become unstoppable. So stop chasing the easy comfort of traction. Stop being satisfied with numbers that everyone else cheers for, but deep down you question. Look fierce and hard for talent, the wild, raw, restless, unapologetic kind. Invest there. Align with those ready to burn brighter than the system's spotlight. Build links where others see chaos. Because on the other side of talent lies a reality no traction metric can predict. A future shaped by those who refuse to be limited, who refuse to be misunderstood, who refuse to settle. This is your call to break the rules, to bet on fire when others choose smoke, to build networks of the rare and the brave. This is how you become more than just a player in the game. You become the game changer. The world has no infrastructure for the exceptional, then you create it. Align with talent, amplify their power, and watch as everything you thought you knew about investing burns away, making space for the extraordinary to rise.